Let you know that today's show is adult in nature, so be advised.
It's everywhere.
In the movies,
In magazines.
in our music,
And on television. It's sex.
When do you talk to your kids about it?
What's a passion party?
Wouldn't you like to know?
And what are the benefits to a healthy sex life? Today, we're taking your calls, and our sexperts have the answers. Call us at 713-284-1055. We're talking about sex on Great Day Houston. Traveling in and outside the loop from Memorial to the Medical Center. Information you want to improve your day and make your life better. Live from the Channel 11 studios, it's Great Day Houston. And now, your host, Deborah Duncan.
Today's topic again is a sensitive one, so if you have little ones, now is a good time to get them out of the room. Today we're turning the lights on and kicking off the covers to talk about sex. Have you ever wondered how many times a week does the average married couple have sex, and are you normal? And why are we so embarrassed to even talk about it? Our panel of experts or sexperts are Dr. Christopher Jane, Mary Jo Rapini, Janine Sherman, Dr. Nancy White, and Meryl Cohen. Please say welcome to everyone here. Hi there. Okay, I can see that half the people are sitting like this. We're all like kind of like this. Let's just start off with, why are we so uptight about talking about it in this country? Because I have friends in Europe who just always make fun of Americans, go, you're so uptight. Why?
That's a really good question. I think one of the reasons is because of the way we were raised with our religion and the morals we got from our families. Our parents told us it was taboo, and so we don't talk about it. And consequently, most of the problems we have about sex are because we don't talk about it.
Yeah. All right, Dr. Jane?
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. It's not to say that it's immoral to talk about sex, but the morality in this country seems to be a little bit more tight than in Europe. And we just have to be careful comparing ourselves to any other country. We're the United States, and what we do here, whether it's relating to sex or our health care or otherwise, it's pretty unique, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah, you talk about comparing ourselves to other countries. A lot of us want to compare ourselves to each other, but since we aren't talking about it, we don't know what is quote-unquote normal. So I'm going to start off with that one question that I think oftentimes people wonder about, and that is, okay, how many times a week is normal? Anyone want to take a stab at that one? Okay, no pun intended on that one. I'm sorry.
I think it's a lot less than people think it is. It's about twice a week, 1 to 2 times a week for a married couple is a nice amount.
Yeah, which is on average, not to say that that's normal or not.
On average, yes. But I think when you watch TV, you see everybody chasing each other around, and everybody feels like they should be having sex 3 or 4 times a day.
Yeah.
Let alone a week.
Well, we all have that girlfriend, too, who comes to the party going,
Oh my goodness.
oh my gosh, I am so tired. I mean, we just are so in love still after 5 kids and 15 years, just so in love, you know?
But sex doesn't have a lot to do with love.
Yeah, this is true.
That's
true.
the bottom line. A lot of those couples that say that, they're in lust, perhaps.
Yeah.
But
all
maybe
right.
not love.
And you're going to ask one part of the couple how often, and they'll say something different than the other. And it's the same week, the same couple.
Right.
That's always interesting.
Okay, let's go to one of our audience members here. Hi there.
Hello.
You had a little question there.
Yes, my question for you all is, what exactly is the correct, definition of healthy sex?
Whoa.
Wow, that's a great question.
I have an answer for
Okay.
that. To me, healthy sex takes it way beyond intercourse. It's really about relationship. It's really about connection and union. And if you just focus on intercourse, that is not healthy sex, and it doesn't lead to anything that's a healthy relationship, which is really what it's all all about anyway.
Yeah, an exchange. I want to enhance your life. I want you to enhance mine.
You're my beloved.
Yeah. All right, we have
Not
Laura.
you're my object.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We have Laura on the line right now. Good morning, Laura.
Hi.
Hi there.
Hi.
What's your question?
Okay, I had a question. I'm a 33-year-old woman that is happily married and have recently been put on anxiety medication. It's probably been a couple of years now that I've been on the medication, but I've noticed just decrease in my sexual drive. and I hate that, I just don't have the desire. It's just totally omitted. My sexual drive, I just don't have it.
Okay, what she's talking about is, this is a problem that a lot of people have. There are a number of reasons for not having a sexual drive, and she says that she's taking the anti-anxiety medication. Medications are one thing, that can impact it. So she's saying, what can she do? Is there anything like a female Viagra that she can take to counteract the impact of those drugs?
Dr. Jo.
Well, we know that a lot of medications, no matter what your medical problem is, can adversely affect your sexual health, whether it's the emotional aspect, whether it's your sexual desire, whether it's your physical response. What you need to do is you need to ask your doctor, what are the sexual side effects of this medicine? And then what can we do to remedy that? And if your doctor can't help you, then you need to go to somebody who can. This panel certainly has availability, maybe even this week, to see you. But you need to talk to an expert and really find out what are the potential side effects of the drugs I'm on and what can I do to help prevent that.
Because that can be so frustrating in a marriage because, again, sometimes people equate that with you don't want me.
Right.
All right, we have Jennifer on the line. Good morning, Jennifer. Jennifer?
Hello.
What's your question, Jennifer?
Hi, I'm newly married, and my husband is significantly younger than me. He's in his 20s, and you would think he would have a higher sex drive than me, but he actually doesn't. And we've talked about it a lot, and he wants to please me, but I feel like I'm the pursuer, and I want to know how to change that and make him more interested in me. Like, when I was younger, you feel that attraction for men, and I don't get that from him. And it's
How old are
frustrating.
you? How old are you?
I'm 31.
Okay, so he's really not that much younger than you. Okay, so a husband in the 20s, and she's 31, and she says he just doesn't have a sex drive, and so she says she's tired of being the one who's the pursuer, which is one of those things that we oftentimes think is always the man hounding us, right?
Right.
But she says she's tired of that, and so again, having to explore why his sex drive is not where she thinks it should be, and they're newly married.
And Deborah, there is so much of that. A lot of times people think just because you're a guy, you're the one that always wants sex, but we're seeing a lot of erectile dysfunction. There's a great book for that. It's called The Sex-Starved Marriage, and it takes the side that it supports women and validates them in that many times if your husband has a problem, try this or try this. It's a wonderful book.
Yeah, and the thing is you have to figure out where that problem is. Is it psychological, emotional, or is it really physical?
But it's always normal that one is going to have a higher sexual drive than the other. That's normal in any relationship. And it can be the female or the male. And so it's finding that balance.
Yeah.
It would be crazy if they weren't, because they both either be real on or real off. Yeah. So it would be like, it would be balanced.
Well, if you could just match them up at the right time, then that would be good.
Yeah, there's some chase in it, though. Just spice it up.
We have an email question, and this question is, how can I tell my husband that he's in the wrong place during foreplay? That's not it. And so again, you don't want to. I think women especially, we don't want to hurt our husband's feelings, and it's like kind of that's not it. Especially when men don't do this. Don't say, "Well, it was good for me. How was it for you?" Because sometimes we're forced to not tell the truth. Okay, but
Not in the right place.
Yeah, not in the right place.
Well, maybe don't talk about it during foreplay. Talk about it at another time when we're being romantic or just talking about what I like. What do you like? Well, this is what I might like. So it didn't have to be there. It shouldn't be confrontational. Just instructive.
I love that, Meryl. And sometimes, too, if you say, men respond really well to this. I loved when you did this. Pick the one thing they did really great, and then you'll get a lot of that the next time, so you better really like that. But it's a starting point. It's a jumping point for you then.
Dr. Jane, as the male up here.
No, you really have to talk about sex outside the bedroom. When you just try to focus on your sex life in the bedroom, there are going to be some problems. There's going to be some miscues. So the more open we are, the better our communication as a couple when it comes to sex, the better sex is going to be for both in the couple.
And the other thing is just understanding the physiology of how women are made. It's like, reaching that mountaintop, if you will, doesn't always happen just through straight intercourse.
Sure, and this goes back to a point you brought up earlier about, why is sex not talked about? Why do we not know as much as we should potentially in this country? One thing that women don't realize is what their anatomy is and what different parts are. And guess what? If the women don't know, then the men don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys that think they know, but they really don't.
And if you don't say anything, then they're thinking they're knocking the ball out of the park every time.
That's right.
Okay, we want to go to Scott on the phone lines. Good morning, Scott. Scott, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, Scott, what's your question?
As a healthy 40-year-old male that has just recently had a physical and is in good health, what could be the reason for not being able to get an erection?
Okay, so Scott says he's healthy, he's 40 years old, he's just had a physical, but he has erectile dysfunction. So he's trying to figure out what the reason for that might be.
Yeah, there are a lot of reasons for erectile dysfunction, and usually it is an organic process. It's a vascular process, and that's why the drugs like Viagra, Cialis, Levitra, why they work. Viagra is the most prescribed drug for that problem. Because it works. For men, the majority of the male sexual response is physical. And if we can physically fix a problem, we're going to probably cure 80 to 90% of a man's sexual dysfunction. That said, however, there is some male sexual dysfunction that does involve the emotional aspect, whether it's depression or otherwise. And so if you're trying, as a man, one of the drugs that does help the physical aspect, and it's not working, you need to consider seeing a therapist or some other healthcare professional that can address your sexual dysfunction from a different angle that doesn't involve just a physiologic problem.
All right, when we come back, we're going to take more of your phone calls. We'll put the number right there at the bottom of your screen. Also, is there really that thing called the G-spot? You've heard about it. Is it real? And can sex really help with things like depression and chronic pain? More and more studies have pointed out that sex is actually good for not only your relationship, but also for your health. We'll discuss those benefits when we come back.
Yeah.